starting the episode, right?
Yeah,
Is this the start?
episode.
Okay, yay!
Yeah, this is sort of like a re-recording. Because the last time we did this, we totally forgot to press record.
Yes, and
we
it
talked
was
for a good couple hours.
and it was such a beautiful
gone.
episode, and we gotta redo it. But it's okay because I think we have a lot more to talk about now, considering back when we first started talking about it and failed to record. Um, this was right when I think Danmei was kind of going up in popularity, and now it's like more, I guess, mainstream as a BL thing, but still not as like big, I guess, as other parts of it. Not yet.
I think it's because of the type of form it's in.
Yes.
So, like, what is Danmei? And like in literal like Chinese translation, I think it means like addicted to beauty, which I feel like is similar to how some of like the other like yaoi and stuff like that. Like I feel like if we find the literal translation, it probably does mean something similar.
You know what? I don't know. That's a good question, because now I wonder then what does Yuri technically stand for? Like, is there a difference between the two?
Oh, never mind. Very different.
Interesting. It's an acronym.
Yeah, for no pineapple, no point, no meaning, or no. What does that mean?
It means because it emphasizes just the smut, not the romance.
Okay. You know what? I probably got it mistaken for like Bishonen.
Okay, right.
Like,
beautiful dude. Yes, beautiful dude, which we grew out of. Yeah. Starting in after middle school and high school ended. Yeah, but now they're just twinks.
Well, that's okay, because like I feel like in yaoi you sort of have to have like your Bishonen guys in there. So
you should. Sense. It is practically yes. I think it is an important part of the whole thingy. Yes. But yes. Yeah. And I think when it comes to Danmei, I think both of us can kind of talk about for you. From your perspective as someone who is a huge fan of it and an enthusiast about it as an insider, and for me as an outsider who just sees the really good fan art on Twitter, I think we can each talk about like the different sort of perspectives we have as we've seen it grow.
This makes me sad because I feel like in order to like fully enjoy the fan art and the fan content, you need to like go through the process of reading it. Going through the story.
I'm
stuff.
sorry.
It's so much more impactful that way.
I know. I do remember that one line. What is it? It was who's the character's name? His name is Moran?
Yeah, Moran.
Yeah. Well, isn't it him and his like the teacher or the disciple? What is it?
Oh, his teacher.
Okay, yes. Yeah. That famous iconic line. What was it? The one where he was like, "If I knew you were such a slut."
Oh my god.
That line was fucking... I remember seeing that and I was like, yo, I didn't know Danmei went at it like that. Yeah, I thought it was all just fluffy, and then I saw like the intense stuff.
Well, it depends on like who you're reading from. So Danmei itself, the content is mostly web novel based. So if you're not a reader and if you're a visual person, I feel like, going back to reading might be that hump for you. For most people who I try to talk about getting to Danmei, who are already into like, I guess like into like BL, whether it's like yaoi or whether it's like Korean BL, they sort of have to overcome this hurdle of, okay, I'm going from like these visuals to now I have to like read on this text and
pure literary, yeah.
Which like reading anything always comes with its like, I guess quirks in a way, because you might not like the way that an author writes, or in this case, you might not like the way the work is translated, and you could lose interest. And unfortunately, with these web novels, they can span like hundreds of chapters.
Right, yeah. That's the one thing that's preventing me from reading.
So you also have to have a good attention span, too.
Exactly. And I think for me, it's like, I mean, I read big books, too. Yes. I think the difference is when you come into something like a story that's marketed as a BL, you want it to get to the shit. You know?
You do want it to get straight to the spice, but right. Because this is content like mainly made by Chinese writers, publishing it on Chinese sites, they have to be wary, or most authors I read from, some of them are wary of like, you know, censorship, trying to avoid being banned or having their works put down because it's too quote unquote explicit or sensitive.
Which has already been happening.
Yeah, which is it. And China's always gone through these like waves of anti-porn campaigns where they'll like find media that are explicit and then shut it down, or like threaten the creators to either take it down or pay this fine or whatever it may be. And I think they recently went through one where, I guess according to rumors, it was like they were arresting all of the Danmei authors out there, but I think it was also sort of like a mix of truths and lies, where most of the Danmei authors that were being arrested, it was also because they were evading taxes. So it's
good for them, honestly.
They have to pay for that. But anyways.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not really, we don't know what they got arrested.
Yeah, but I have noticed from some of my favorite authors, I haven't been able to find any translations of newer works. But then it could also be because, like you said, Danmei is no longer on the like incline rise where it's sort of searching for its Western audience. I think it's found its Western audience, and you could tell because now there's publishing companies like Seven Seas picking up these Chinese web novels and actually selling it in like bookstores, like Barnes and Nobles. They'll have a whole section of it as well.
Yeah.
And I remember when they first came out, it was a big thing, and they were sold out for like, I think it was like Heaven's Official's Blessing, which makes sense. Yeah. You have like this sort of
that's the iconic one. Yeah.
Yes.
They finally were revealed once it was added to the to Barnes and Noble shelves and stuff like that. But I think you were kind of interested in Danmei work since before it started being serialized officially.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I
With
think
the fan translations. I think like there was all this kind of like, wasn't it sometimes with fan translations there's like a lot more nuance put into it, while with the like serialization and officialization of it, it all became standardized. Right?
Yeah, it's sort of standardized or watered down, I feel.
Right.
I feel like I have to go back and now this is going to be really hard because some of the official translations, they got assistance from the fan translators to help with translating the books, which is amazing, of course. But that also meant that these fan translators who posted these like English translations up on the internet had to take those down. Because now that this work is being published, you know, obviously you can't have this source easily accessible to everyone anymore because, you know, it's a sold product, which is unfortunate because that was the cool thing about Chinese web novels, or translated Chinese web novels in general, is that you could sort of like read it.
Access them anywhere for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So they kind of, it was the Netflixization of free content.
Yeah, it's free
which
content.
really sucks. That was something that kind of interested me, where it's like there's this kind of love-hate relationship, I feel, when it comes to Danmei and the market, because like and with government in general, because it's like, isn't technically, correct me if I'm wrong, but in China isn't homosexuality legal?
It was decriminalized in 1997, so you know it's okay. But here's also the other thing: when it comes to any type of Chinese media, whether you're depicting whatever sexuality and romance, they're very strict on like what type of story you could tell, right? So a lot of like let's take examples, these animated series or animated movies, they're not really like purely original stories. They're based off legends with like its own original twist.
So that's why I wanted to ask you, were any of these Danmei novels actually based on like actual Chinese folklore or legends? I know there isn't Hualian's.
Yeah, Hualian.
Yeah. Or what's his boyfriend's name?
Oh, Xielian.
Yeah, him. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, it's
no.
yeah.
I combined the name. But isn't he Hmong?
Yeah, technically they say he's Hmong.
Right.
Because according to the author, that's where she grabbed her inspiration from.
So I'm curious if they depicted other cultures in it, and if so, how did they depict it properly? Or
I feel like web novels, at least from what I could tell, they they're more original on their ideas.
Okay.
But when you do hop into reading Chinese web novels, whether it's Danmei or like a romance or even like a standard action type or adventure type genre, I guess there's certain like subgenres that you have to be aware of. That's very common. So like for example, Chinese web novels are really big on martial heroes or immortal heroes. So you'll hear the term like wuxia, or I think it's xianxia used a lot to describe some of these web novels.
Okay. Yeah. Does it have to refer to the... Because now I'm starting to think of like isekais and what was the cultivation thing? I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
The terms that, like, so there'll be a lot of not weird terms, but like a lot of new terms that you don't commonly see in, like, let's say an isekai story. Like the term, cultivation. So it's sort of like when the characters sort of train. It's like a mix of fantasy and historical, right? Okay. So they're cultivating their power in a way to become more powerful. Okay. In that way. And there's lots of other interesting concepts are like sometimes when characters travel, they're described as flying on their swords, and it's like, okay. What? Yeah, the reason why I got into Danmei was like a magic card. It is like a magic card, but it's a sword that you can use to fight with. So it's 2 in 1.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's wild.
But it is a little goofy to watch it animated.
I can imagine. And it's like a big ass sword, or are they just sword. Like really wide? They just put their ass on it, or
no, they go like a. They stand on it. It's like a standard sword, but they'll stand on it and fly. Okay. And I think the concept of like wuxia and xianxia like stories aren't just like, you won't just see it in Danmei. You'll see it like in very old Chinese dramas as well. Okay. You know, like where they're super dramatic and they're flying in the air.
Yes, they're
that's what that's involved. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
That makes sense. Yeah, so that makes me wonder, what was that? Was it a Chinese drama? It was the one that the guy who was like a cross-dressing theater person, and the other guy who had like was a mafia lord and had like the toxic haircut. Yeah, that one. Was that based on it wasn't based on it. It wasn't based on a real story.
It is. I don't know if it's based off a real story. I know it's based off a web novel. Okay. I know it's based off it's based off historical, not like true historical events, but it's based in a historical era where I think it was the cusp of like World War II.
Okay. Yeah. So. Interesting. They had that haircut even back then.
Yeah.
Same one that Knives was supposed to have.
Oh. I mean, the haircut was nice. Honestly, the characters in Winter Begonia, like the character designs and the sets were really cool. Yeah. And I feel like Winter Begonia is like a live action, like subtle Chinese, like BL / shonen-ai. Right. Okay. Because it shows, I guess like this, not really romantic but platonic relationship between like 2 male characters.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. I think there needs to be more of that because it's possible to be able to envision a nice, good, wholesome relationship between 2 dudes. It doesn't have to involve full-on butt fucking. Yeah. But is it a wholesome relationship or no? Is it toxic?
It's a little bit of... Yeah, I would say it's pretty toxic. Because it's like... think of it as like they're in an open relationship.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we welcome all relationship types here. What is that meme that's going on where it's like, we don't... shame, we don't judge, we don't...
Oh, that one?
I don't remember the words for it, but
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's pretty much telling people to say out-of-pocket stuff and they won't be, like, judged for it.
Right, exactly. Terrible things. But yeah, the reason I was bringing up Danmei and the market was because I'm thinking of the experiences of people, like, actual queer people in China. Like, I remember watching this one... I don't know whether it was on Red Note or like on Instagram, but there was a woman who was like being interviewed on the street about her experience being bisexual, and it frankly wasn't like good. Like, you know, technically it's decriminalized in China, but culturally, I mean, it's still very much frowned upon. Yeah. And then there's that, and then you have the phenomenal success of something like Heaven's Official Blessing, the like crazy sales that Danmei novels are getting they're clearly profiting off of it, off of its like proliferation and everything, and all the attention it gets Chinese media. So it's like they're going to stigmatize the genre, but then capitalize on it.
They do.
So it's
capitalize
it. Weird.
And it is a weird, I guess, like paradox in a way, right? Because they understand that there's a fan base out there that will indulge this media. I feel like the first one at the time was like the demonic cultivation of arts, or I like to use the acronyms here because like all web novels, the titles are abnormally long. So MDZS by MXTX.
So many acronyms.
Don't worry about
it. Wait. Oh yeah. And the other thing is when you were talking about the different terms that are used, it's hard to keep up with the names too, right?
It is hard. Yeah. And I wonder if it's like because we're not used to like I guess the names culturally, right? Maybe if like readers in China will like have no issues with reading these names, like this is fine. But for me, the one thing that sort of like I had to get used to was the fact that a single character could have multiple different names, and they're often also referred to by other characters out of respect by their surname. So sometimes I see the same name or same surname pop up and believe it's one character, when in reality it could be a family member of a different character.
Oh, how do they differentiate? Like, is it like the character, the kanji is different, or is it like? But if it's the same family member,
they'll use the surname, but then they'll have like, I guess like, another term, like right next to it that will sort of like give them like, I guess a classification or a rank. So like for example, like Ga is I think older brother, and then I'm pretty sure there are other terms for like lady or young master or
there's
little
like
sister.
The ceremonial
like
names
too,
too,
ceremonial
right?
Names, yeah. And yeah, I remember I had to keep like a lot of post-it notes on hand and like wrote down all the names and then made sure I knew like who they were and where they came from. Because the funny thing about these, I don't know if it applies to all Chinese web novels, but at least the ones I read, like a minor character that you saw from the very beginning will show up maybe like towards the middle, towards the end, out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, okay, it's coming full circle, I guess.
Would you say that's a matter of the way Chinese writing like culture is or writing style is, or would you think that's just bad writing?
I would say I don't know. I would have to read more like Chinese literature to figure that out. I wouldn't call it bad writing. You start diving
into Chinese literature after reading Danmei novels. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I wouldn't call it bad writing. I feel like I've seen, and here's the thing too. I can't really define it as bad writing because I'm reading a translation. So if anything, I could say it's a bad translation.
Okay.
But for them to bring back a minor character all the way to the later towards the end of the series, I think that's just a plot choice. Okay. And it just shows how complicated and long their plots are, hence why it spans over several hundred chapters. Right. But don't be too intimidated because, again, these are web novels, so they're being posted on a very frequent amount, so maybe a weekly or monthly basis, so they're relatively short as well. Right.
Okay. Yeah. So you can kind of take your time
looking
through all of these. I admire your commitment though, because I would have just been like, all right, let's keep going and I'll figure it out eventually.
For example, for Heaven Officials Blessing, you're gonna have to skip to chapter 90
before
you can get some and that's just a kiss scene.
Yo, okay.
Yeah, so it's
and it's probably is it like a chaste kiss or like a full on makeout scene? Probably
it's
not
more
even
more like a convenient kiss because I'm pretty sure the kiss was underwater and Hua Cheng just kissed. Spoiler alert: Hua Cheng just kissed Xianlian because Xianlian was underwater and he was he needs to breathe.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. See, when I thought they were gods, how come they can't breathe underwater? That shouldn't stop them.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. When I think Heaven Official's Blessing is the one Xianxia story I've read because it involves immortals. Mm-hmm. And so these immortals, whether they're demons or gods, they still act very human.
It's like Greek gods.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the breathing thing, I don't know.
Yo, that story would have been shortened so much if they just give Hua Chong like a gun. Like, bro, just take away this freaking sword flying thing. You can just a machine gun.
No, then it's not. No.
Dude, guns are badass.
Okay, but you're gonna have to read a modern story for that. Okay, not a historical one. It won't count.
The Winter Begonia. Don't they have guns in
They
that?
do have guns.
Yes.
But it's not. Winter Begonia again is
World War II
fiction.
Asian.
Yeah.
That's true.
Not historical fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah, historical fantasy is different.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
There was a story about a mushroom. I remember.
Yeah, I'm starting to read that one. I need to push through a little bit. But the little mushroom is supposed to be another very popular Danmei story. And it's literally about a mushroom that takes on the form of like a human.
Okay.
And tries to live in human society and survive. And he sort of falls in love with this sociopathic, like,
what the fuck? But he's
Captain
a shroom.
General dude. Yeah, I know he's a shroom. I don't really know how this works. There's like other things too. I think there's like one about a fish, and then it's just
Oh wait, I think I saw that in Barnes and Noble. It was like a fish tank, and it was like the fish that fell in love with the
with the emperor.
Yeah,
like yeah. I have to like read the synopsis of that to see what's going on.
I wonder if it's a trend. I think there's this one K drama. I think it was. I didn't even bother watching.
The chicken nugget.
The chicken nugget. The girl turns into like
Didn't
a chicken nugget.
Eat the chicken nugget?
Did they?
I don't know. I thought someone ate it and they were freaking out.
That's my daughter.
It's goofy. It's really goofy. I don't know. I guess like it depends on what type of person, like the type of stuff that you're into. But for me personally, I think I would pass on a story like that.
Yeah, I think
without even giving it a chance. I might look at the title and be like, "No, okay, I'll go somewhere else."
Right. I think it's a problem I've had with a lot of isekais lately. Not necessarily just Danmei's, but like the crazy long titles that they have that are just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, I cut off my left nipple.
Oh my
they
God.
have shit going on. That's the name of an actual manga.
Yes. I didn't know that.
It's a legit. No, it's legit. You can make up the most like crazy stuff, and it's probably out there. I don't know why, but. Maybe that's just, like, convention, like, the kind of slapstick humor that's probably popular in, probably in a lot of Asian dramas. But, yeah.
Yeah, there's no shortage of long titles.
Yes.
Like, I'll give you a few. If you ever want to start reading Danmei, a very popular author would be, again, I mentioned her name before, MXTX. Mm-hmm. She wrote, The Demonic Cultivation of Arts, or MDZS. That one has an animated series. It has a live-action C-drama series. Of course, it has its web novel. There's a live-action. The live-action was on... Yeah, The Untamed.
Oh, that was the one I couldn't bear to watch.
Yeah, I know, because you couldn't handle the action scenes.
Yeah.
But that's how it originally got popular, because people love the Untamed. Yeah. So, The Untamed... Let's see, I have a list here. Grand Master of Demonic Cultivation.
Isn't there also this other one called, like, what was it, Slum?
No,
Slut?
Scum Villains.
Oh, Scum.
Self-saving system, not slut.
Okay, sorry.
Also written by the same author.
I saw the name going, like, on, like, when I first started encountering, I'm like, what the fuck is, like, Scum Saving System?
Yeah, that's...
Triple S.
How should I describe it? It's probably like, you could call it an isekai.
Okay.
Think about it like someone's transmigrated into the villain of their favorite web novel. It's sort of also meta because he's jumping into a different web novel.
Well, that's kind of like Omniscient Reader.
Yeah,
because like Dokja is like it. Yeah. That arguably should be its own BL.
Yeah, it should be. I feel like it low-key is, but people don't want to admit it.
Maybe the creator... It's just that the creator keeps pandering to the audience. Like, it's always right there. Don't fucking go for it. Because of the probably too many straight male fans.
We have to talk about queer baiting.
Yes. Oh my god. Remember was it The Great Pretender?
Yes.
I was so pissed. I loved the first season and they just like bait him straight in the end.
Yeah.
Bro is French. They don't ascribe straight sexuality. They used to fuck anybody.
He's probably considered bisexual.
Yeah, but he just like gave up on my boy, edamame.
It's okay.
So sad.
He's fine.
No. I was wondering too when it comes to translations, because I think that was another thing we wanted to talk about is how much is lost in translation. Mm-hmm. We hear about, because we're largely English speaking, we hear a lot about Chinese being translated into English and what the nuance is there. But I wonder how it differs for Chinese being translated into other languages. What are they getting that we're not, and what are they missing? Or I'm curious about how different of a perception that people have of Danmei from other language speaking countries.
Well, here's one thing I could tell you: we're missing out on some good cover art. That's for sure, because these works were translated in Thai. They're translated in Korean as well,
and they get all the good.
They get all the good merch, the good covers, and all that stuff. Yeah. And so when you see fan art, sometimes you'll see fan arts comparing the different styles of how the characters look amongst the different translations and stuff like that. And so I feel like Western, English-speaking countries are sort of the last to have the translations for Danmei. Yeah. And I don't know. I've never actually purchased any of the other foreign language translated versions of the stories, because if you do purchase an English translated version of these web novels, it does come with nice images. Some of them are from artists who are huge fans of the works of the novels themselves. But my opinion in adding images to novels within the pages, I feel like it sort of lowers the age for the audience. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, kind of picture book vibes, would you say?
Not picture book, but it's definitely, and I guess it is geared towards young adult, but I know that a lot of adult people were into this fan base before the younger people were.
Okay, before they before they brought their perspectives and everything.
Yes.
But no, I understand that. I feel like the other issue that might also bring is the nice thing about reading novels is just you can form your own image of them in your head. And then when you come across a pre-made picture of it, then you're like, oh shit, now my vision of it is affected from now on. Yeah. It's kind of the way I kind of would complain to my parents sometimes, because they would show me a lot of photos and videos they took of me when I was a child, and I'm like, shit, now I don't know what is a memory I actually had of me as a kid versus what I saw. Yeah. So I feel like I kind of have that issue too when I'm reading a book and I see a picture and I'm like, the fuck? I didn't think of them looking like this at all. And that's also a problem with live actions and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know we gear back to it, but Omniscient Reader, that live action trailer was crazy.
But that was the one where they put the guns and all,
yeah,
right?
They did put the guns in. I love all the fan art that came out from that trailer with everyone editing out the swords and replacing it with the guns.
Bro.
That's crazy.
I loved that meme I saw where it was the more complex the world building, the funnier it is when you just hand the character a gun.
That's true. That was true.
Yeah, I think that was a someone commented with a picture of Toshi Fushiguro as a thing, bro just brute forcing his way through the jujutsu world. But yeah, that was a funny time. So I think another thing, getting into the more BL aspect of Danmei, there's this whole prevalence where there's an older bottom with a younger top.
Yes.
I love that trope, But it seems to be very prevalent in Danmei. It used to like not be like that at all. It was more of the typical like older top, younger, like and all of that. But like that was the typical stuff, and thankfully that's changed. And I remember being like, "Ew, this is weird," but now I'm like, "Hell yeah, that's the shit." But with Danmei, it's just really prevalent throughout, and I wonder, is that again kind of like a cultural thing? Or
I think it's based off the setting. So like I told you, right, the martial heroes, the cultivation. So those always involve some type of like schooling or some type of master or mentor. Okay. And so hence you'll see a lot of like the forbidden romance between mentor and student.
Oh, okay. Right? I thought you were going to talk about the homoerotic tension between a master and a student.
That too. It's still it verges onto that. Right? Okay. And so I feel like a lot of stories that involve cultivation and historical fantasy, you'll see a younger top admire like their mentor who would eventually become their love interest, and when they mature and become stronger than their master and mentor, that's when like the real climax to like their romance sort of begins as well. Yeah, interesting. So that's why you'll see a lot of that type of dynamic.
Yes. Yeah. I saw like screen caps where people were like, I love this trope, and it shows like it's like a childhood to adult kind of like transition thing, and it shows like it was originally when they were a kid, one character was like short and cute and the other was like tall, and then when they grow older it flips and the dynamic changes with it, and it's like that stuff is delicious. Aww. I think it ultimately, and this is a theory I literally just like thought of, I wonder if it has to do with our like attachment to the underdog kind of storyline, where like we see a character in a disadvantaged role and we root for them automatically, and then once they slowly start getting better, you're like, we want to see them win. And it's kind of a similar thing here. I noticed.
I think it does happen depending on the stories that you choose to read. Like the author Meat Bun, who doesn't eat meat. I feel like for me, my favorite work from them is like, I think is it the husky and his white cat.
Oh yeah, teacher. Was it the white cat Shizun?
Yeah. So Shizun is just like another term for teacher in Chinese. Okay. But yeah, that one like fits. Right, because it has a little mix of everything. It has that like age gap dynamic. It also has a bit of like transmigration, trying to like correct the past and things like that. Interesting. That one was also one of the first explicit, I guess, Danmeis that I read. Whereas like I was used to reading the stories from MXTX, where all of like the more intimate moments happen towards the end of the story. Like, it's sort of like a big payoff to finishing the story. Okay. Like, now you get to see your characters together. Whereas, like, in The Husky and His White Cat, it's like, it smacks you right there in the middle, because, like, the main character follows Moran, who's our top. Okay. But he's also a scoundrel. He's
a hoe?
Yeah, he is. Oh, okay. He's a big ass hoe.
Okay, fantastic. I love hoe characters.
He goes from his 35-year-old self as this corrupted emperor back in time to like his 14 or 15-year-old student self. Okay. Where he like re-encounters all of his like fellow classmates, and of course his like the teacher that you believe he hates so much, or you believe that the teacher that has wronged him. Okay. And caused him to become this horrible person to begin with.
Okay, so, that feels kind of toxic.
Yeah, it is. Is it toxic? It is toxic, for sure, because it's a fun read, but I also want to note that you do have an unreliable narrator, because he is a pompous ass, so not everything he says could necessarily be true.
Okay. So, yeah. I love stories like that. I guess the protagonist is that much of a prick, then there's a fine line, but I do love unreliable narrators, because then when you like get the other perspective in the end, it's like, wow,
Yeah, and you want to go back and see, like, what did I miss?
Yeah, exactly. I think there was another story like that. It was like a psychological thing. It was like a 19-year-old guy with his like 32-year-old therapist or something like that, and the 19-year-old is the one manipulating him.
I haven't reached that part yet. I've read the first book. This is the case. Okay. Is it the case compendium or something like that?
I think so. I think case was in the name. Yeah.
It's that one's also actually written by the same author.
No way, she has a kink.
Yeah, she does. She really does.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that one, it hasn't reached that moment yet.
Okay.
Because that one is set in modern day, and the funny thing about this one is that the main character, who is that pompous ass, who's like, again, that scoundrel / psycho, is what they describe him as. He's like, for some reason, very, very, he's in like denial about like his feelings for the person.
Okay.
Like he believes that he's 100% straight.
Oh, just that trope.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's like, there's no way I can be gay. Like, this isn't normal.
The fact that he knows that the word exists means that like it is a possibility. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro.
And so by the time the first book, because again, this is the book that was published by Seven Seas. By the time that first book ended, like, he still hasn't come to terms with it yet.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yo, bro's gotta wake up. We live in the modern world. Well, who knows? Maybe he will. So he's still a kid. Yeah, you're talking about the 19-year-old, right? Yeah. Or okay, it would be crazy if the 32-year-old was. I'm not gay.
No. Well, yeah, he's also like that too.
Oh no! Oh come on.
So the 32-year-old in that story, he's pretty much lived a perfect, pristine life for most of his time, and he has like a very strict character, but he has good intentions. Okay. And by the time you read the beginning of the story, that character had recently gone through a divorce.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
And the reason why he went through the divorce was because his wife, he caught his wife cheating on him. Oh. And like, she was justifying her cheating by saying, "Oh, you don't really love me. You know, I don't really feel any passion from our relationship." I'm like, "Wow, I wonder why."
Yeah, I was like, I figured. I was like, oh, did she like clock him as gay, like into the relationship?
Not. I don't think she has. I think she just saw him as like, oh, he's unattractive to me, because like he himself is very attractive to both genders. So okay. She saw him as attractive. I think the reason their marriage was sort of arranged. It wasn't out of like any deeper. It's like very surface level, right? Okay. So they just seemed like the visually perfect couple.
Okay, got it. So when you say like he was living a pristine life, it was mostly like he wasn't happy.
No, it was sort of like he was just living through life.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's kind of sad. Well, that's ripe for toxic phenomena. I know. That's where this all starts. But yeah, I feel like the I'm sure I'm straight trope is just so overdone.
It is overdone, and it's also like, I guess like in Eastern media it's okay. Yeah. And maybe that's normal, because maybe people are in denial about their feelings. And I'm sure people in the West are also in denial of their feelings. Like, of course anyone could be in denial of like what their true sexuality is. But at the same time, in the West, I feel like it's common to see like non-straight relationships being depicted as a normal thing. So to see a character deny it and go through these things, it's sort of like, I guess it feels different. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because most of the media we see, they're very open to it. Right. So to see a character express being closed off about it, you're like, oh, I guess it's sort of not like a turn-off, but it sort of irks you the wrong way. Yeah. Or something like that. Even though I know later on down the line it's probably going to be some character development where he's opening up about his feelings, like he's more accepting about it, which again is normal. But as someone who's used to seeing it being portrayed openly, it's sort of like, okay.
Yeah. I guess it's like, it's sad that it kind of is like it has to be a privilege on our part to be able to look at like a trope like that and be like, wow, this is backward or just like boring. Because unfortunately the repression that it undergoes there
is very true.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's lots of repression in other parts of the Western world as well. But like, it's also, present day.
Yeah. Even if people hate the concept of being homosexual, the entire concept of homosexuality is just much more well known, whereas the knowledge of the concept itself is repressed in other societies. So it's like you can't even talk about being open about being gay because you don't know what being gay is.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's that knowledge is suppressed there too. Yeah. So it's like just completely different perspectives, which is interesting given like how like the whole cut sleeve thing.
Yes.
It was common or
emperors, they could keep consorts, and that included both men and women.
Yeah.
And so the term cut sleeve comes from like an old tale where an emperor didn't want to wake his male lover who was sleeping on his sleeve. So in order to not wake him, he would cut his sleeve to remove his arm without like disturbing his lover's sleep.
Right. Which is very cute.
It is very cute. And when you read Danmei or Chinese web novels in general, there's a lot of like phrases that are used around that you might need some like further, I guess, context for. Like, for example, the term White Lotus. That's used in both the fan base and in the work itself, where it's used to sort of describe a character who's very innocent and pristine and pure.
Okay, yeah.
And then I think their term like black-bellied or blackened, it means someone who's sort of malicious or sly or manipulative.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Yeah. Like tainted in some way.
Yeah. And I think like there was a unique term that they used to describe like someone who was envious. And I feel like it had something to do with vinegar. Like someone drinking vinegar.
Right, like a sour, like disturbing taste that's kind of left. Okay, that kind of, I see.
Yeah. So I think that's something that you just pick up on when you read it though.
Right.
So I think that's fine. I think some of the stories that you may read, especially when it involves cultivation, touches, or not just cultivation itself, but like also parts of like, I guess Buddhism will be touched upon as well. So like,
I was gonna ask, isn't cultivation like a Buddhist concept? Isn't it?
I think it is.
Feel like the idea of like progressing, like you work to progress through different levels of that hierarchy of the afterlife.
Right. Yeah, no, I guess it really is in the end. Some of them use Buddhist terms more, I guess, openly than others. So, like, for example, heaven official's blessing, yes, it's cultivation, but it's not, like, specifically using terms from Buddhism. Whereas, like, something like, I think it was...
Does it have to do with, like, censorship again?
No. I think it's because Buddhist culture... Like, Buddhism is common in China.
Right.
So it makes sense that it could be involved in works of fiction.
That makes sense.
Like, I think reading Invitation to Wine, that one was a really good story, but at the same time, I feel like I couldn't enjoy it as much because there's lots of footnotes and lots of, like, Buddhist terminology that I'm like, I am seeing words, but I am not understanding the full context.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's like when you're trying to, you know how you can never watch a show without subtitles these days because of like the whole weird audio thing that they do. And so you're just reading the subtitles and you can't like fully immerse yourself in the show. Same with like anime that you watch or any foreign language show that you don't understand. You're busy trying to read the subtitles and you're not watching the show.
Yeah, that's the thing with footnotes sometimes. Footnotes are helpful, but at the same time, I feel like you have to do a double read. Like, you read it once to make sure you understand what you're reading, and then you read it again to get the full thing. Yeah.
Oh, that kind of takes away the pleasure of, like, the first time reading.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Hence, like, the sticky notes with writing all the names and stuff.
Yes.
That's reading a piece of work from a different culture that's been translated. again, will have its challenges, I feel. Unless you're into that and it's easy for you, then good for you. But, like, for me, I was like, okay, this is very different from what I typically read.
Does Seven Seas do a good job of, like, explaining those differences or communicating them?
They do. I think in the back, they have sort of like a index
glossary?
in the glossary for
Oh,
some
cool.
of the terms.
Okay.
That were
Yeah, that's
translated.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I feel like the only, like, Chinese BL related thing I consumed was that short film, Kiss of the Rabbit God.
Yeah, you showed me that one. That was a mix of, that was a modern one too.
Yeah, it was a modern one, but based off of, like, again, like another old tale, which kind of brings me back to, I guess, like, how, well, I guess I feel like things were, quote unquote, deviant practices were more accepted if it's the king or the person in power doing it. In any case, it was like revolving around the old Chinese god of homosexuality who was kept in shrines and stuff, the rabbit god. And he'd just keep visiting this, like, and it was beautifully filmed. I love it. But, like, he would just show up to this, like, guy's restaurant where he's, like, working as, like, a line cook. And he would always just be sitting there. And I love that kind of urban fantasy vibe. That's what it gave me. Urban fantasy, where it's like there's gods and demons and stuff like that, and you're trying to make your life through in like a Denny's or something. I love that vibe, but I think it was a metaphorical take on trying to get this guy to accept who he really is. And I thought that was like, it was a beautifully done way of showing it. Plus, it was hot as fuck. So I think that was the only one I saw. It was a short film, so I was able to consume that. But, like, I don't know if I can consume hundreds of chapters.
I mean, if you give it a chance,
I know.
Do you like that genre though, the historical fantasy genre, when it comes to like manga and manhwas?
I think so. When done well, yes. I think I prefer like the more creatively done, like, modern pieces. But I don't mind historical fantasy and things like that. Yeah.
I think there's probably plenty of modern Danmei novels out there, but I don't know if I've yet to come across one that I really, really like.
Right.
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Like, if MXTX ever decided to write a modern, like, setting for a Danmei novel, I'm probably gonna read it.
Okay.
I'm waiting for it though.
Yes. If you find one, please recommend it to me because then I might read it. Okay. See, here, I'm not gonna lie. I guess I'm influenced by the art that I've seen, and unpopular opinion, but over time, I'm unable to tell which stories are different from each other. They all look the same to me. I'm like,
no, I don't blame you for that because it's the long hair, the long rose,
exactly,
the white rose.
Yes,
it's very similar.
All very similar, and it's hard to tell which story is which when all the concepts are so similar. I mean, obviously, there's gonna be like different tropes and different types of pairings and all of that, but it's like, I feel like I've kind of seen everything through the pictures that I found.
That's fair. Yeah. No, I agree. Because I guess when it comes to those times, you're probably very limited to what type of clothes they can really wear.
Right.
I think the person who had the most dynamic, like, world settings and like character appearances was probably for I think the Shizun, the husky and his white cat,
and probably also the shroom, because the literal mushroom.
Yeah, but that one doesn't count because that's not historical fantasy. That one's sort of post-apocalyptic modern fantasy.
Okay. All right. No, that's
so think about like military like uniforms and stuff like that.
Okay, so I'm curious. I have to know, what's the lore behind him being a mushroom and turning into a human?
I feel like,
is it like any plant?
The world is
fungi are not plants.
The world is not dying, but it's gone through this like weird nuclear apocalyptic like change. So now that nature and stuff like that is dangerous to humans, and humans are sort of like trying to fend for themselves because they're probably limited on resources and things like that. And then this little mushroom, he comes across this dying person who's this beautiful looking twink, and he feels so bad for him.
Oh, and then he like infects. He like.
I think he takes his form. Like he doesn't take the body. He just sort of, because you know, like the concept of mycelium constantly growing and stuff like that. So he just takes his form.
Ooh, I kind of like that. There are those stories where it's like fungi are low key kind of sentient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was like going. That's like the main thing for that main character.
Okay.
He's a sentient.
He's a sentient mushroom. Yeah. I love that for him. Interesting.
It's a little weird though, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that brings me to another question I have. So like, the idea that it has to kind of emulate mythological stories and stuff like that. There's that. But are there stories that also emulate like history? Because I'm thinking of like there are stories about Greek gods, and then there are stories about like, you know, the Roman wars and the Greek wars and the aesthetics that come with that. So I wonder if there's like, you know, stories of like actual ancient times.
Yes. Now that I think about it, yes.
Okay, so there are.
If you've read any story that involves like emperors and stuff like that, and they're going through wars and they're talking about like dynasties,
then it's like historically
historical stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So there
Which is also a little bit overwhelming if you don't know the context.
Oh, okay, okay. Time to like research Chinese history.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's cool though. Yeah, I feel like you would learn a lot from these.
Mm-hmm. You would.
Yes.
But it is a lot because they do go into like they go into a lot of detail.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the way that I don't know if it's just the way it's written or the way it's translated, but it's sort of it's not as like fluffy. When I read the fan translations, or if you even read the manually translated works, which is pretty much an MTL or manually translated work means someone took the raw text, just popped it into a translator, didn't do anything to it, and that's it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I bet that leads to some goofy translations.
It does. It leads to goofy translations, but if someone's super desperate, that's what they're gonna get.
Yeah.
When you read the MTLs, you could tell that, like, it's very, I guess not literal, but it's more, like, brief and blunt. Like, when it comes to the dialogue and when it comes to the action, it's not as, like, super fluffy or artsy.
Or right. It doesn't capture the style.
Yeah. I don't know if that was like a refreshing thing. It does make reading things like that a lot faster.
Okay, yeah. But you're probably missing a lot.
Yeah. But I'll say this is that that type of like writing style was a lot for the I guess the shorter web novels that I've read. Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, well, so then why would they, if it's short, nobody wants to translate it? Like, go...
I guess if it's short, not too many people know about it, and not too many people will translate it.
Okay. Okay. Because I would think the longer ones would be the ones they wouldn't want to translate, because it's, like, a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work, too. But, like, even the longer ones, there's more style to it, I feel.
Okay, like more depth to it.
It also depends on the writer.
Okay.
Right. So that's why I really like Meatbun and MXTX's style of writing. I think I have to like look to see what other authors are out there. Priest is also another very popular Danmei author.
Okay.
I've tried reading one of their more famous stories, but I couldn't get the hold of it yet. So I think I have to like go back.
Which story is this?
I gotta remember the name, but it is steampunk. Like,
oh, I like that.
Like
okay.
Also another age gap type.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love age gap.
Yeah.
There's so much potential in those.
Yeah, I know there is. I should probably look it up because the title of it was very. Oh yeah, Stars of Chaos. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
It has a normal name.
Well, that's the English translation.
Oh,
but like the Chinese name is Shapo and.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Also another long series, but yeah.
Okay. All right, but I think that's more. I feel like the steampunk aesthetic appeals to me. It's something different from what I've seen a lot of. Yes.
Yeah. I definitely recommend getting to Danmei now, at least in the reading format of it all, especially since it's more accessible now.
Yeah.
Now that's being published. But if you're not convinced, you could always watch animated series based off the novels or the live action series based off the novels as well.
If you were to rank them by tier, like best format to consume it in versus worst.
Best versus worst. I feel like I'm gonna go based off your taste.
Okay.
I would say you would start off with animated first and then read the series and then consider watching the live action.
Yeah. Yo, live actions are just cringe to me.
Yeah, they are. But live actions are also more subjected to more censorship than even the novel itself.
Oh, yeah. Because they be real life people. Yeah. Ironic that real life people are subjected to more censorship.
I know.
Which is really sad.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm still waiting for the Husky and his White Cat season to be made into a live action series. It's supposed to be called The Immortal. I think that was the live action series name. But it was always being placed on hold because the director was trying to be as accurate to the book as possible. And then it kept getting shut down as being like, yeah,
bro, yo, free my guy. He's like, that's the one kind of director we want.
I know.
Yeah, that's such a shame.
I wish it could be picked up by Netflix so that they can make it like the way it should be.
I feel like even Netflix is being such a pain in the ass lately.
Yeah.
They're censoring, like, they're taking away so much creative liberty and freedom. Ugh. But yeah, they just need more money. They need more funding.
They do need more funding. I think they just need more monetary incentive to be like, okay, let's forget about these censorship laws.
Yes. The more money you have, the more ability or you have to flout the rules. Yes. Because they're like, this makes profit. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Like the HBO series. Any HBO series, they'll always include a violent scene or a sex scene. Yeah. Every episode. That they do.
Euphoria. Bro, did you know that I think they're what is the word? Like when they are reprising the same characters for like the next season of Euphoria, and I think Zendaya's about to be paid like $1 million per episode.
Oh really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yo, I'm like, if it's just gonna be a shit ton of like
Zendaya shots,
that and just like tons of like just gratuitous sex scenes. Like, I don't know why they do that. Like, what do they get out of it? Nobody wants that.
That's why.
Who? What kind of freak watches like TV sex scenes? I don't know.
Although you know what's sad? Euphoria it's technically based on high school students. I think like I have a big issue with the director.
Yeah.
Because like I think you could tell the one show that failed was The Idol, which is the show that he made after Euphoria, and he thought that because he did so well in Euphoria that he would do really well with Idol.
I've never even heard of it.
Good, because I think it was discontinued.
Oh, okay. All right, because it was really bad.
It was really, really bad.
Oh.
Yeah. I think they said that based off people who watched it and were reviewing it, yes, there's lots of like oddly graphic sex scenes. And then I think one thing that was very controversial as well, there was an actor who was, of course, of age, like 18 or older or whatever, but they played in the show an underage character. And they showed in the show this underage character like engaging in these sexual acts. And it felt really awkward.
Yeah. That's kind of like unsettling to read.
It also made me see The Weeknd as a creep, and that made me sad. Because like The Weeknd songs were not bad. They're okay.
I see so many memes about it where it's like all of his songs are now just like depressing, or just like, my girlfriend cheated on me and I want to kill myself, and this shit is going really. It's like, yo, bro, are you okay?
No, he's not.
Like,
he needs a Bruno Mars moment.
Yeah, bro needs some help.
He does,
but not the gambling kind of help.
No, you know Drake's been caught gambling. everyone keeps like flying drones wherever he lives, and they go up really close to his laptop, and they see like a gambling screen.
No,
I think it's so funny,
bro. Drake is gonna get like driven into the dirt at this rate. I mean, he already is, but I mean,
his
yeah,
music wasn't that good. It was okay.
it wasn't that good. And then he like decided to go after minors, and then like, see, there, when you have like a grown ass adult portraying this to like lots of people, I mean that's kind of like
Stay in your own age group, dude.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes.
It's sad.
Yeah. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Let me look at my other notes that I've got. Hold on 1 minute. Oh, yeah. How would you say the art style difference is between the illustrated works and the animation? Because I love Chinese animation is insane. Like, it's so vivid and detailed.
You know why?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because a lot of animation companies outsource their work. And so the animators that like make some of your common animation works are probably people who are making these Chinese animations.
Oh. But you see, here's the interesting thing. When you watch like Japanese anime that has been outsourced, it looks really bad. It looks so bad. I'm thinking of like, remember how I used to watch, but now I read it. Classroom of the Elite.
Yes.
The animation was beautiful. And then you can like tangibly see that they've outsourced the animation like this. I think the second or third season, because like you have like the Gojo type clarity eyes in the first season, and then they look like fucking like solid like squares. Like it's just so sad. So that's interesting to me that they outsource it, but it looks really good in Chinese animation. Who are they like?
Maybe it depends on the team you're outsourcing it to as well, right? Depending on your budget. If you have a big budget, it better be good. Okay. But if it's a small budget and
or they're cranking out all that child labor. You know that I think what was it? There was like I think Mappa was under fire for some time because like apparently they were like making a 16-year-old work under like insane hours to help animate Gojo's eyes.
Oh, no. I hope that's not true.
I'm not sure how true it is either, but like the working conditions in that area is not good. Yeah.
They're working really hard, and these are people who are probably passionate about what they do, right? It's not like a standard corporate 9-to-5 thing.
That's the thing. I feel like with art or any creative endeavor, it's impossible to constrain it into corporate 9-to-5 because creativity is not something that can be like math can. Like it's like technical systematic work. It's like you have to be visionary to think of ideas and theories and stuff like that. But with art, like it's different. You can't. It's a purely human thing. You can't like confine it to these hours, which is why I felt so sad hearing about what was going on with the Spider-Verse series because
it's still on hold,
and they postponed it even further now. Yeah. So it's like it's beautiful animation and art, but like the way that they're just squeezing it out of these people is like that's not good either, and it's the antithesis to the entire show. Like
it's sad.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on with that. And I loved Naja, and I know you did.
Did you watch the new movie?
I didn't yet. I'm waiting for it to come on Netflix with the first.
All the fan art I've seen so far on Twitter is everyone's thirsting over Al Bing's dad. I'm like, dude.
Yo, that's the way it goes.
That's
how it goes.
Although Naja's had like, so before the new movie came out, there's an intermediate movie where it was set in like, I guess not modern day, another post-apocalyptic.
Oh, is it the one where the cat died? That's the one where the cat died, right?
The cat died?
Yeah, it was the one where you didn't like the way they animated the cat too. I remember. I think this was the one. There wasn't motorcycle gangs.
Yes.
The water guy had like short hair.
Yes, and he had like a cybernetic back.
Yeah.
That was really hot. Okay,
you were like, fuck, yeah. Yeah, they designed them well.
Yeah. It's just sad because the character designs for that movie were really good, but I think the overall plot and the acting
was kind of mid.
Yeah, the writing was
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I thought it'd be more, you know,
more dynamic. Yes.
But it wasn't. It was sort of basic, and I'm like, okay.
It's okay. We're just there for the thirsty. What was that one? The guy with the baseball. The guy like everyone was watching. Yes, everyone was watching because he was really hot. Yeah. I found the movie man boring. I mean, it's for kids.
It is,
but they got the adult audience in really nicely.
Yeah. I love how someone's like, I want to wife him.
Yo, I love the whole trope where it's like someone's gonna come out of this room pregnant and it ain't gonna be me.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I think for that movie, that Ultraman movie though, they set it up for a sequel.
They did.
The way they ended the movie, it sounds like it's set up for a sequel because he's looking for his mom.
Oh, okay.
His mom's missing and stuff.
Okay. Low key, that kind of reminds me of How to Train Your Dragon. It literally has like the dragon baby thing, and then like trying to find the mom who was missing and all of that.
The dad better not die then.
Oh yeah.
That'd be really sad. But the thing is, like, How to Train Your Dragon had a better storyline.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I feel like Ultraman was very, like, I could tell what was going to happen from the start. Yeah. Like, it was very, again, it is for kids, but, yeah.
It's okay. It's also based off, like, a already made series, too. Whereas, like, How to Train Your Dragon was a purely original series itself.
How to Train Your Dragon is also based off of books.
Oh, it's based off books?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, I don't know whether it's books or graphic novels, but it is based off of an existing story.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either until I saw people are talking about, like, check out the series and stuff. And I was like, no shit, it's from a book? Yeah.
Next thing you know, you find out all the other Pixar movies are Shrek.
Based off a book. Yo, dude, I'm so looking forward to the new, like, Shrek movie. You see all the drama that went down with, like, the new, like, art concepts?
That's why it's on hold.
I wonder why people were so pissed. It didn't seem that different, or maybe I'm just blind, but, like...
I think, like, they didn't like how clean it looked.
Oh,
It looked more, like, clean. Like, it looked like Shrek had a filter.
No. Okay, yeah. So it didn't have that like it didn't have the nostalgic feel of the old timey.
No.
That's low key how I feel about like 4K remastered, like old and like I think there's a new one coming out for a Studio Ghibli movie. There's like they're gonna in IMAX they're gonna release like a 4K remastered old Studio Ghibli movie. And the same for like a lot of like when they re-released like some of the Lord of the Rings movies in like 4K IMAX and all that.
How did that look? But you can tell it's different, right?
You can tell it's different. You can tell it's more refined, but it's weird because it doesn't remove the old-timey effects. It just makes those old-timey effects even like it zooms in on them. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I think I know what you're talking about because they like so fans like to do this a lot for anime fight scenes and stuff like 60 FPS, like, I'm probably saying it wrong, like FPS, or like, you know, they're maxing out the resolution of it. Oh. And so, when you watch it, you could it feels like you're watching some of the scenes in like this weird slow motion, but not really slow motion, but like the details of the movements are more obvious.
Okay.
And it feels like a little weird to watch. Right? Yeah. Because before it like used to be a smooth action, where now you're like, okay, this movement is like very, very clear for some reason. I don't know why, but,
Here's what I was trying to say. It gets so clear to the point that it's grainy. You can see the graininess of it. Whereas in the old-timey movies, because the resolution wasn't that strong, it's faded. It's blurred. Exactly. It's that painting effect that they were trying to go for, which is the charm of it. And with Shrek, it was just the plain, just shitty resolution of it that everyone loved.
Yeah, I think it was the style back in the day, too. Yeah. But then, like, I think what people have to understand with the new Shrek movie is that they're probably using the same art style as the new Puss in Boots movie.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
it's sort of weird that people are upset, like, what did they do? Or they murdered my boy or whatever. And it's like,
they didn't.
But it's like literally the same style as one of their new movies too. So it's sort of like you can't be too upset.
Exactly.
It can't be exactly the same.
I think it's they're just using more refined like tools, the same artwork, but just like the tools themselves are refined.
Yeah.
They haven't changed. Yeah. So it just looks like, it'll look different.
It'll always look different.
Right.
And like, not gonna lie, if you like watch some of the modern movies and then you go back to like, oh, let me watch this movie that I saw as a kid that I remember looking so good.
Yeah.
And then you watch and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't remember it look like this.
Right.
Like you're just putting it into perspective. That's all.
Right. Yeah. Man, we went into Shrek from
That's okay.
That's all right. It's related. It's all related. But I guess speaking of that, I'm wondering how. So, you read the Heaven's Official Blessing? Did you read the web novel?
I did.
And the illustrated work and the animation.
Yes.
So I'm curious from your perspective, how much was the animation faithful to the original web novel, or how much did it remove? How much did it keep?
So far, it is pretty faithful to the original novel. I feel like at some points they've added a little bit of extra things, which is cool.
But you liked it.
I liked it.
Okay.
I didn't mind it, and I can tell like there's some pacing. Like the pacing will be a little bit faster at some aspects, just to keep up with the show's pace. But other than that, I think the only thing that I didn't care for was I guess some of the character designs as in outfits. So, Heaven Official's Blessing, before the animated series came out, there was like a Donghua, which is a Chinese version of a comic or online comic.
Okay, like and a doujinshi, but like okay.
And it was created by this artist Star Ember, who has unfortunately been canceled due to certain reasons, and so they're not producing anymore.
Well, what are the reasons?
I will tell you later.
Okay.
But
okay.
The art style for that was really good. The designs, like everything was really beautiful and pretty. So when I saw like what was animated, it's sort of like you see this sort of weird downgrade, and you just feel a little bit sad on the inside. But I'm just happy that it got animated.
Oh, okay.
So if you didn't like, let's say you went in blind watching the animated series and you didn't know what the Donghua series looked like, you'd probably be perfectly fine with how things are.
Okay.
But yeah, the stark difference in quality and between the Donghua and the anime is very clear. And of course it's different like art styles too. And when you're animating things, animating something that's super detailed is hard, so I can get why certain things were simplified. But I'm spoiled with all this eye candy, and it's just like
yes,
sad. I was like, okay.
They set the bar really high.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But it's all good. I think like the animated series is still good regardless so far. It's on the second season. And so I think from the third season, will involve the kiss scene that I'm waiting for.
Yay! I like it how we just all the fans are literally just edging themselves through watching this fucking show.
They really are.
They're like wanting smut, and then their bar is lowered so much. They're like, I just want their fingertips to touch. Please.
The whole concept of Heaven Official's Blessing is like literally long distance relationship. Because my boy Hua Chung waited 800 years to get back with this dude.
Yeah,
okay?
that's
and
true.
I'm like, and all the fans pretty much tell themselves like, whenever there's a setback or a hiatus, like, hey, if he can wait 800 years, we can wait 800 years.
Okay, but yo, he's an immortal god.
Yeah, I know.
We have like less than an eighth of that time span, bro.
It's okay.
But that is a love that spans the ages, which I respect. Yeah. And speaking of fan work, like Donghua, I think you also have thoughts on the fan fiction that comes out of it. Yes.
The fan fiction is amazing. And I'm a little bit sad that now that it's more, I guess now that's becoming more mainstream, the fan fiction that you probably would find for this series might be, you might have to do more.
The main is dragged down a bit.
I guess a little bit, yeah, right? Because like you'll have younger audiences, right? So of course they're free to put up their own fan fiction, but that means you have to dig a little bit deeper to find the original fan fiction. Because again, web novels, especially the translated ones, the main fan base I feel like was for older people, right? It wasn't like your common teenager. I feel a lot. And again, it's a novel, right? So it's people who love reading. Right. And so the fans that produced the fan fiction, they produced like amazing works of like art.
I remember you sent me some of them. Like I never read like the canon story, but I remember being like, "Damn, this shit is good."
I know,
and very well written.
Even though you had no context, it was still really good compared to like. So when you're jumping from like anime fan fiction to Danmei fan fiction, it's like a huge difference. Like, oh my god, I can tell this is not written by a middle schooler.
By an amateur. This is real writing. And I think it just like puts into perspective when people say like, don't look down on self-published works, because some of them are way better than the published ones.
A lot of them are way better than what Book Talk is trying to advertise.
Yeah,
and it's really sad.
Yeah, I feel like writing has been unfortunately dumbed down a lot. I'm looking at Colleen Hoover and all the other toxic shit out there. But yeah, there's some good stuff. But yeah,
I hope that one day you give Danmei novels a chance. If
I think let me know when the steampunk one comes. Is it already out?
I think it's already out.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let me know what it is, and then I might give it a look.
I think you might like that better. I think you should give, if you really want like hardcore smut, you should read The Husky and his White Cat season. Okay. A lot of MXTX's works, they're really good. They're a good like gateway to reading Danmei novels, but they're slow to the intimate scenes. And by slow, I mean it's because it's all the way at the end.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. Have there been others that like? Well, I guess you mentioned the ones that like, it's kind of interspersed.
Yeah.
Have you seen others where they kind of, I guess, change the way the story flows? And the other interesting thing I was wondering is, considering that there are now more younger audiences, are there works that are being produced that are like being changed to cater to those audiences? It would suck if there were, but I hope that the actual Danmei writing industry remains untouched for the time being.
Yeah, I don't think they are going to adjust it just because the Western marketing team is probably targeting younger audiences. I feel like it's gonna stick with its standard audience, which is again, I think like more mature women.
Okay,
so
that's good.
Yeah, or young. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Now, whether the translation teams are gonna be translating it different, that's a different story. I don't know.
Okay.
So we'll see. I don't think they're gonna translate it too differently, but I think like the way it's written, right, might be different.
How would you say that online fandom is in general for Danmei?
I feel like it's okay. I feel like it's alright. Because the only drama I saw so far is between different translators, right? So you'll have someone who's dedicated, does a lot of work, like, they put a lot of work in their translations, and then you see another smaller translating group that'll try to do the same thing, but then sort of like barge into someone else's territory, maybe take some of their translations and claim it as their own. So that's one of the dramas I've seen. Okay. But overall, the fandom itself is alright. I feel like you'll still have toxic fans,
right?
No matter where you go. But I don't think I saw it too much here because, again, when I got into it, it wasn't a really big thing in Western media yet. But maybe now, maybe it will. Right. So we'll see. Yeah. Right? Because you always have those moments where people trash on BL itself. they have their own hot takes on it, and it's like, well, man, it's a piece of media, so take with it as you can.
Yo, they're gonna hate anything that women are into, basically. Yes.
Yeah. Or like, I feel like people talk about and maybe this is a new thing now, but there's a cycle for like loving and hating BL, where like when they're younger they'll like think BL's like really interesting, and then when they are more woke, they'll be like, oh my god, BL is fetishizing like gay relationships, like it's not good, it's horrible, you shouldn't consume this media.
Right.
And then they get older and they're like, yeah, who gives a shit? And then they'll read it anyway. So yeah, it's some good stuff.
Right.
So it depends.
It's like reading like shitty romance novels.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Right. I mean, although it's not always shitty romance, so like there are some really good works out there. But, and to be fair, I think some of it does have real world consequences because, like, I mean, it's a marginalized group that we're dealing here that faces a lot of problems. But, I mean, you know, it's BL. It's just, good. Yeah.
It's just content.
Yes, it's just content.
And I think you won't see that. I feel like you won't see that a lot of this discourse with Danmei because I think, well, based off what I've read a lot of wholesome ones, so I feel like it's okay.
Right.
Not so much. I haven't seen too much like dubious consent or anything like super outlandish, right? Because again, these authors are worried about censorship rules.
Okay.
So some of them are cautious.
Right.
Of course, some of them aren't, but like most of them are pretty cautious.
Yeah,
about it.
they'd have to be careful.
So when you do jump into Danmei, don't be surprised if like there's a moment where you think there's gonna be an intimate scene, and then you see a lot of floral language, a lot of like metaphors being thrown in. That's your only intimate scene. That's what you're gonna get.
Okay. Yes. You just have to. I guess it'll allow your imagination to fill in the gaps.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But there's something about having things in canon, right, that are more satisfying than like you trying to make it up in your head. Like, this is what happened.
Right.
Versus like the author said this happened. This is amazing that it happened.
It has more weight to it because this is real. It happened, and it's part of literally what happened in the story. Yeah.
It's sad.
Yes. Yeah.
But definitely give it a shot.
I shall. Have anything else you want to talk about?
No, not really. I think Danmei is definitely another interesting take on how to consume boys love romance. And I think if you are, I guess, hesitant into reading or devoting a lot of commitment to reading something so long, just like take it slowly. And if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. And if you don't find what you're looking for, then that's okay too. So,
yeah, that's okay anyway, because we want to preserve the integrity of the fan fiction that comes out of it.
Yeah, definitely jump into fan fiction then if you don't, if you find it too slow.
Exactly.
The fan fiction writers, you can tell they're really thirsty.
Yes.
They
want it so fucking bad.
Yeah,
it's literally They desperately want something to come out of this. Literally.
If you feel like Danmei might be lacking in what you're trying to look for, the fan fiction writers got you.
Yes, and the fan artists too. The fan art is beautiful.
It really is.
Always. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that was very fun, and I feel like this nicely encapsulates what we were trying to say in the failed episode.
Oh yeah, it does. This time it's recorded though. So
yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye bye.